Room 101 is basically you have something you hate about the local music scene. General rudeness from either punters or venue owners about like the space you're given.
When you get to the end of a gig and people are asking for more, you know, when you get bullied into doing more and more and more and more. Mate, I've been scraping the barrel for half an hour. I've got nothing left, you know, kind of thing.
It's all right, Ian Bill on the podcast.
Just let it go, man. Just let it go. No, I'm joking.
Yeah.
We're an indie band, so we need to wear like polos and like, you know,
Fred Perry polos.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean.
Brett.
Fred Perry, look at him. Pretty green
Get the
jackets. I
budget.
don't know. Stone Island, I don't know, but
Right, we thought we'd have a bit of fun at the end, so what we're going to do is play a little game of Music Room 101.
Ooh.
So we're going to pick our own for this.
So let's just explain what, for those who don't know, what Room
Yeah.
101 is.
Go on, I'll let Lee do that.
So-
next time.
Room 101 is basically you have something you hate about the local music scene. It's more generic than that, the normal one, but to make it Music Room 101, we're going to pick something that we hate about the local music scene and we're going to put it in the room till it'll be locked away and it no longer exists.
We'll never rear
That'd be
its
nice,
ugly
wouldn't
head
it?
again.
Yeah.
Are we going to
So-
agree on sort of the winner? Or
Yeah,
one we
so
don't
it'll
agree
be-
with?
It'll be majority rules. So if there's two
Majority
people that agree
rules.
with it, if you get two people agree and one person doesn't, then it is going in room
Right,
101.
okay. Right. I don't want to start this. You start this because
Right.
I need to still need to think about this one.
The same, to be fair, yeah.
Yeah, I'm still thinking about it,
Hang
to
on,
be
let me
honest.
think.
Should we have
I
a
did
break
have
to
one.
think about it?
Maybe, yeah.
I did actually have one earlier, and I think it's going to come back to my earlier point. Mm-hmm. And it's like, I think general rudeness from either punters or venue owners about like the space you're given and like just the complete disregard for your gear.
Okay.
I think that is just
You're
one
just
thing.
dwelling on that woman with the pan, aren't you? That's
Yeah,
it.
I've
You
had
can't
it a
just
lot
let it go,
recently
man.
as well,
Just
to be
let
fair.
it go. No, I'm joking.
Yeah, I think just if you're watching a local
Cancel
musician,
this.
just respect them.
Yeah.
For God's sake, just if they ask you not to do something, just do it. If you've got a drink, just be wary of the gear. We're not asking you to not
where
drink.
it is, all that kind of thing. Yeah.
You need to do that RESPECT in the cover set. Just like a sort of
That's the
subtle,
one.
like, you know, reminder.
Have you ever had someone fall on your gear or anything? Like, because there was a woman once fell on my mic stand and I brought it like 3 days before, and like one of the legs has completely snapped. I've never been able to use it since. I've also had like other musicians nick me gear from a venue that I just
Really?
left my gear at overnight to keep it there for the next day.
Yeah.
Someone's robbed me mic stand and I'm certain I know who it is, but we shan't name him on the pod.
Oh.
Right, you next or me?
Sorry, did we vote to that to go in?
Well, no, because we need to hear the rest, don't we?
right.
Or does it go in now? Does it?
I think, we agreed to put
Yeah,
it in.
I agree with you there.
I
that needs to go
agree
in.
as well, to be fair,
Yeah.
yeah. Like, you get it with drummers as well, that, like, you put your stuff somewhere and then it, like, either gets moved or it's, you know, I've been on gigs with drummers where it's like, don't move anything. You're like, how do I play comfortably now then?
Yeah,
You know,
but
like,
he was a
everything's
left-handed-
over here and there.
He was a left-handed drummer.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like, you had it where someone, like, didn't even set up, like, give you enough space to play, didn't you?
God, yeah, like,
That,
yeah, they just give you like just somewhere where you actually physically can't set up.
Go and stand in the corner and play around the
it's
way.
but you've only got a guitar.
The thing is,
Like-
people have seen me at gigs and booked me for private party,
Yeah.
but then go like, "Oh, I didn't realise you have like a speaker. I mean, I thought you were just going to play unplugged." And it's like you
No.
booked me like in a pub, like where
Yeah. I've got speakers.
There's speakers and the other music's playing. I'd agree on that whole thing, like the respect thing as well. Like in terms of, you know, how people are always like, oh, gigs get cancelled because people don't get the tickets beforehand and things like that as well. Because I feel like that's part of it. Do you know what I mean as well? Yeah, definitely agree with that one.
Cool.
So
I'm going to be a bit more controversial because I feel like we're just going to agreeing with everything
Yeah.
because it's obvious. So, so when you get to the end of a gig
Here we
and
go.
people are asking for more, right? There should be a cut off as to more because I'm quite a soft ass sometimes. I'm just like, oh right, okay. You know, when you get bullied into doing more and more and more and more, there should be a cut off where you're like, yeah, do you know what? I'll do 2 more or 3 more. but leave me alone after that because you'll get
Go on, Lee, you go first.
You'll get
There's
drunk,
two
you'll get-
arguments there,
you'll get
isn't it?
drunk people who are like, oh, come on, mate, do one more. And it gets
One
to the
more.
point where it's like,
Yeah.
I've done 5 now. When do you want me to start?
yeah, and and then it's almost like you look like the prick then for coming off.
Yeah, there's 2 arguments to this
Go on.
one. Like, I'll do it if I really don't fancy it. I'll take the piss out of the crowd or like go like, this is like a fucking McDonald's advert.
Yeah.
Like to get your money's worth.
Yeah.
Stuff like that, and like, but like every now and then I'll do a gig where I'm staying out with my mates afterwards.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm like, right, buy me a beer. I'll stay on.
Right,
That's a good
And
shout.
like the issue is with that, I get like 5 people buying me a beer at once, so I'm stacked up with pints behind
Got 'em
me.
all.
I'll add
lined up.
something to it then when someone comes up to you, because sometimes like I get to the end of a gig and I'm not always one of these people who can just do things on the spot all the time, and I'm scraping the barrel at this point. I'm like, I've done another half an hour for you, and I'll give you 50 quid more or whatever to do, another 15 minutes. You're like, mate, I've been scraping the barrel for half an hour. I've got nothing left, kind of thing.
It's all right, Ian Bill on the podcast, everyone.
So that you
innit?
sometimes know that's
man.
coming, don't you? And you're like, by the way, this is my last. I did that on purpose, by the way.
I can't stop
Bill.
that. I can't
Yeah.
just.
I just wish you'd
It's
have
in my
cried
head.
into it a little bit. I've got nothing left.
Yeah, I knew that was Ian Beale quote. I didn't just come up with that one. Yeah. But go on then, let's have a little vote on that one. What we're saying?
I mean, I'd have said like, as long as you go till like, because there's all the noise curfew stuff in there as well. That's the other thing. I mean, I like when people go like, oh, more.
It shows that they appreciate it.
Well,
but-
Pilots did it. We've had it before, but it's been like in the middle of like we're on at 8 at Penwitham Live this year, and like all our crew, one more song, and we're looking at the band next to us that are waiting to come on, and like look at the sound engineer. Sorry guys, like I'd love you to do one more. You're class, but we can't.
Oh well, that's all right. I'd be like, yep, sounds in a minute.
We've been told no, so no.
One more song. Yeah, go on then. Whatever.
I think
don't know.
it just depends on the situation. That one, it's a
Yeah.
hard one to definitely put
That's
that in there.
tricky.
It's a good one though.
Yeah.
It's a good
'Cause I
one.
think
I'll stay behind and chat all night. I'm not one of them. I won't just clear
Yeah.
off. But sometimes I've just had enough of this
It
thing.
does depend on like how you're feeling on the night, that one, because if you're enjoying it, you can see they're enjoying it. Sometimes you're like, fuck it, yeah, go on, we'll go on as long as I want. But then like if you've got like 2 more gigs at the weekend and that's on the Friday night, your voice is
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
I wouldn't do that if I were you.
Yeah,
As
yeah.
well. I put that one in there because I thought it's a bit more discussion than just kind of thing. Go on then. So what are we saying then? Is that going in room 101? It seems like probably not, but
I'm gonna go no. I'm gonna go no because sometimes I do it for my own fucking good like feeling.
It's your enjoyment, isn't it, as well? You like doing it sometimes. Sorry, Luke, I'm saying no as well. Sorry.
I put it in there, to
Just
be a
because
bit-
you've got no encores, mate.
Right, John, what's yours?
Oh man, this is tricky. Oh
Maybe.
man,
Tank of
I
water.
need a minute to think now. I should have thought all along. Oh dear. Yeah, I'm really stuck for one. I'll be honest, but I'm gonna try. I would say I don't know whether it's like bands that, I mean, I might sound like really hypocritical saying this, but like whether it's sounding or like looking like someone else. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
In terms of like, he says being in a Pilots band, it sounds like Beatles and Beach Boys, but just
but
meaning
you're not
like
dressing up as the Beatles.
that's what I
like,
mean.
yeah.
If we went out like, oh, let's wear the black and white suits or stuff like, you know what I mean? But yeah, there's bands out there that do all that, like, oh, we're an indie band, so we need to wear like polos and not there's anything wrong with like
Yeah,
brands and stuff like that as well, like
Fred
whether
Perry
it's-
polos.
Well, yeah, that's
That's
what I mean.
Brett.
Fred Perry, like look at him, pretty green
Get the
jackets. I
budget.
don't know. Stone Island, I don't know, but yeah, the people that do that, do you know what I mean? I'm a bit like,
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
What's the alternative you suggest then? Just be what if
Actually,
that is you?
No, I'm going to change mine actually. Sorry.
Oh, here we
Quick,
go.
sorry.
Here we go.
He's
Right,
bottled it.
so it's a bit controversial.
People that change their mind. Room 101.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah. See it. Honestly, no, sorry. It's dead easy to say it straight out. People that use like that heavily use like backing tracks in their performances and stuff. Like, I understand if you're just a singer and you've got no one else who's playing alongside, like 100%, like by all means do that. But if it's like a full band and you need like extra backing tracks that don't, when you do it and you don't need it as well. Do you know what I mean? Like you see like 1975, for example, they do it, but it's because they put all the synth stuff on top. But then they do have like 7 extra members at the moment, so they do cover it enough, that kind of thing. But yeah, having like click tracks and backing tracks that go with it. I'm kind of saying it off the back of this whole Foo Fighters and Taylor Swift thing a little bit as well. At the moment.
It was it you that said you? No, it's not. It's a good talking point.
Do you remember the Ian Brown one?
Is it Ian Brown?
Ian Brown like started selling out like these little O2 Academy gigs and all that. He did a tour. And like, whereas every gig before that, he'd had a band with him. He'd done this tour all with backing tracks, and people had paid like 40 or 50 quid a ticket to watch him play to backing tracks. There was a big backlash in Leeds about it. They were all fucking fuming, to be fair. I think
there's a lot of female vocalists out there that sort of maybe a guitar is more attractive to. I mean, I'm stereotyping here, but you know, like I felt a bit because when I started, I sang to backing tracks in the covers for about a year because I just came into music not with your guys' uni experience and stuff. I was like, well, how do I go out on my own? I'd been in a covers band, but it just felt so uncomfortable for me, and I was desperate to get on guitar. I'd had a few ones in and then eventually moved over, but for me, it just felt uncomfortable. I guess if it doesn't feel uncomfortable for you, you know, like some female artists and that have dance tracks and all that, don't they? But to me personally, I want to visually watch guitars, drums, you know, all that. But I
think there's an element to this because I can see what you mean. Because like Flash Floods have toyed with the idea of potentially using backing tracks on the heavily synthy tracks to make it bigger. We've always kind of struggled with like doing the Killers because they've got like 3 or 4 synths on there, 3 guitar parts and stuff like that. So we have toyed with the idea of possibly doing it just for a couple of tunes. And this is probably more geared towards the original music side where you get people who've got synth tracks in the recordings. And they just put them in. I think if it's your gig, you've got your own sound tech and all that, and you're wanting to make it a big gig, fair enough, chuck it in. But if you're just like, I don't know, if you're playing like a small 20-minute slot or a half an hour slot.
I think that's more what I'm getting at when I say it.
I think sometimes it is unnecessary to have all that because sometimes you just want that live feel, don't you? And I think it can get a little bit too rigid. I think that's what you're getting at.
I'm getting at like the whole thing of like when people have like a full band array, but then it's like, oh, but we're going to use a backing track as well just because we can. Whereas it's like, you know, if you look at like a big artist that kind of needs it for like any extra atmospheric or like, you know, just for emphasis like on certain things, by all means, I do that. And you know, we do it at church all the time. We use backing tracks and that kind of thing. But if I had it my way, I'd be like, let's just, you know, I enjoy playing like just me. Do you know what I mean? Just purely acoustically.
Well, I'm probably going to have this problem for the second tune I'm bringing out, Anna, because it's very... If I go and do that acoustically, I'll figure out a way. But it's going to be hard. It's very bass-driven, isn't it? And, you know, it's like... So I'm probably going to come to that crossroads at some point, I think.
Yeah, there is going to be that.
John O'Fired.
I think it just depends what you're actually trying to achieve. If you're going to be that sort of band that does that, but you're adding extra parts to it... You might have an improvised section at the end. You might extend it at the end or whatever. Fair enough. You go ahead. But
where am I going to get the steam train with the heavy delay feedback on it?
get the crowd to do it.
Right, when it comes to the right bit and I point to you in the audience, you've got to do it.
Press the button. No, I don't know about this one. It's a tricky one. That it gets you thinking, doesn't it? I'm going to say if it isn't overused, I have a massive problem with it.
I think it's when the argument was when like the backing tracks where it doesn't need to be used.
When it's not fully necessary.
I'm going to stick it in Room 101, mate. I'm going to agree with you.
I'm going to say no. I think there's bigger problems in the world. Does that mean you're the winner then?
John's got it in Room 101.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Good stuff.
Because there's two of us that agree.
So. Right, I see. There you go.
Right, so
congratulations.
There's
Come on.
three. There's three there. Three Room 101s. 2 went in. 1 we disagreed with.
Pop your decisions in the comments.
Yeah,
and
give us some
we'll-
Room
Definitely.
101s.